Welcome to Football is Sexy. This is a special, special episode. I can tell you that right now. I am with the amazing, a motivational speaker, life coach, author, one who's traveled more than 80 countries, shared stages and stories that move and inspire. He's worked with legends, icons like Oprah Winfrey, Robert Downey Jr., Kanye West, Quincy Jones, Stevie Wonder. I mean, the list goes on, and I am so blessed to call him my friend.
Yes.
And all of this is about one thing, and that's leading with love. And we're going to talk about all of it.
So what a privilege to be on your podcast. And the beautiful thing about life, right? I was here filming my podcast in this particular studio.
Yep.
You were doing yours, and we met, and the magic just happened between us.
Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea that I was around greatness. Like you were so cool and chill, and you said, what was I doing here? And I said, yeah, I just did this, football sexy thing, and I just came off the Kelly Clarkson show, and you asked me something that nobody ever asked me. And you said, why would Kelly Clarkson have you on her show? Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's a great question.
Yes.
And I said, because I believe women football fans should be celebrated for their fandom, passion, and knowledge. And that kicked off our friendship.
Yeah, the reason for that question is I always search for the uniqueness of a person. So I think because both of us love music, mm-hmm. every great singer-songwriter has a uniqueness to their voice, their tone. So the football is sexy thing is so unique. I wanted to see why so many people were talking about it. And because your platform is just getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, thank you. And you made me emotional that day as well, because you asked me again another question, and you basically asked my why. And I said, this is all wrapped around my dad, mm-hmm. Papa Joe, who passed away of cancer.
Yes.
And that's when I really realized what the sport gave to me and my father. And that's really how this all started, was giving back to women who maybe don't know the sport and didn't have someone like my Papa Joe to teach them the game. So I was like, we're going to teach and talk football, and quit my really good paying job, Tim,
yes.
to start Football is Sexy, which has been a blessing and a journey. And I'm just so thankful I get to talk to people.
Well, it's such an amazing idea, because I know other women that know so much about football, and I would say, like, how do you know? And they would say, because I would sit down with my dad, and sometimes the father didn't even invite them. They just sat down.
Yep.
And because it gave them that 3 hours with their father to watch something. And then maybe the father starts saying, this is my daughter, I better explain the game.
Right.
And it created a bond. Because many times young boys will get the bond with football, mm-hmm. but you don't really see that with the ladies or the girls. So I'm loving on how you're highlighting that, because it does create that type of time frame that you have, like a roughly 3 hour space to bond with somebody.
100%. And what, on top of all that, the community, the excitement wrapped around, and bringing women fans together. It's been such an amazing thing to watch and be a part of, mm-hmm. But thank you for that. I really appreciate you coming on. This is so exciting. We have so much in common. By the way, our birthdays are on the same day.
Yeah, which is amazing. I don't find that very often. So we're November 2nd children. And people say that people born in November are a little bit feisty. Are you feisty?
I'm kind of feisty.
And me too.
Yeah. I'm a little feisty, but only when need be.
Yes.
Only when and you know who else shares the same birthday?
Who?
Jordan Love, the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, now with the Rams. So we're in good company.
Very good company. Those are two tremendous quarterbacks.
Right.
And now I know that when our birthday hits November 2nd next time.
Now I'm going to add you to the reel. So, and I think Edelman too. So I put I put all these Scorpios on the reel. I'm going to add Tim Storey and be like, yes, November 2nd. But yeah, so in full transparency, we met here, and it was you. And you also said something you said a lot of things, but that day you said something to the fact that you, like, you just said, wait, you got to come to there was something going on that Friday, and you said, you got to come.
You had to come to my event.
Come to my event. And the way you said it was so pure that I was like, I don't know what event we're going to, but I'm going. Like, just the way you said it. And the fact that you invited me meant the world to me.
Yeah, part of that is I was raised by my 3 sisters, and one of my sisters, her name is Viola, which is a amazing name, but she passed when she was only 20 years of age in a car accident. Her friend was driving up around San Francisco in the fog, and the fog was so bad she was trying to figure out how to get to the side of the road, and she ended up going down. And my sister Viola passed when she was only 20. But you give me my sister's vibes. She was beautiful. She was authentic. She was unique. She was a great artist. And this is really the truth. So you kind of stopped me in my tracks because you reminded me of my sister.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment if you don't mind. That's amazing.
Yeah, and you should, 'cause it's just a wonderful
And I'm
person.
sorry for your loss. That must have been really, really tough. Let's talk a little bit about your background. You're from Compton.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about it. I mean, you have done so many things, and we're going to get to it all. But I want to start, for people that might not know who you are. You grew up in Compton.
Yes.
You come from a household. You tell me.
Yeah, so I'm a mixed heritage. My mother is Spanish. Her name is Vicentita Gonzalez.
Okay.
And she's going to be 95 in just about a month or two. My father is Afro-Cuban, Cuban black. So I'm a mixed heritage. Mother had a 6th grade education, father 10th grade. My mother worked at a place called Winchell's Donut Shop.
I loved Winchell's. I loved Winchell's. Yeah.
Yeah, and my dad worked at Bethlehem Steel in L.A. And we had 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment in Compton when, I was a kid. And I'll never forget my mother said to me, because somebody at school said, you guys are lower class. You're lower class about me and my brother. And my mother said, we may be lower income, but we are not lower class. So my mother really had this thing about a standard. So the house was always clean.
Right.
The dishes were always washed. And we really lived at a very high standard. And I really believe that work ethic is a thing that took me to the places where I get to be in life now.
Right. I love that. And it's true. We might not have a lot of money in the bank, but that doesn't mean that we can't have a clean house.
Right.
We can't match our color clothes, right? So I really identify with that. Did you play any sports growing up?
Yes, I was good. So I played the top 3.
Okay.
So in baseball, I was a pitcher
Okay.
and a shortstop. In football, I was a quarterback.
Of course you
were. And in
were.
basketball, I was a guard.
Of course you were.
And I was the captain of every team I've ever been on.
Well, because that's why you're here, right? Is because you were always leading.
I was leading.
Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing about that. There was a couple teams where I was not the best player. I was maybe one of the top 3. But the coaches would pick me as a captain just because my mother and my father really taught me a lot about leadership. That leadership was not always like vocal and being the loudest, but it was really leading with wisdom. And that's how I think I lead today.
100%. And I think it's also by example, right? Sometimes, so I'm sober. I've been 17 years sober.
Yes.
And we talk a lot about attraction versus promotion. And sometimes it's just you being you is what leads.
Yes.
And so I love that. So growing up, you're an athlete. You're already clearly has something extra, right? Captains and quarterbacks, they usually have something extra. How did you end up in this world of life coach?
Yeah.
Leadership.
So it's an interesting thing about life. I teach this, that some things you decide. So a decision is a choice. Some things you discover. And the more I am the therapist and the life coach to so many people, I say to them, like, how did you get here? So let's say a famous actor or a singer. How did you get here? Did you decide it or discover it? Most will say, I discovered it. So for me, I discovered my passion, and it was my senior year of high school. I'm now thinking of what college to go to. A young lady in my class, had been reading a book about the life of Mother Teresa, and it was such a thick book. I said, "Why are you reading that book?" She says, "Just because." But Timmy, because I was called Timmy back there, you should read this book because this is who you are. You're a person that helps people.
Wow.
And she goes, when I'm done, I'm going to give it to you. And I'll never forget, we were in Mr. Crow's math class. She got the book, and she went like this and handed it back to me. And I go, you want me to read this whole book? And she goes, just read it. So I read that book, and as I read this book about Mother Teresa, a nun who decided to hear the cries of the orphans, I tell you, my heart got touched. So I went to the guidance counselor, and he said, Tim, I think you have a calling on your life. And this was a non-religious school. He said, I think you got a calling on your life because even though you are with the popular crowd, he says, I notice you are always around the underdog. I love the hurting. I love the struggling because I know what it's like to struggle.
Right. I love that. I really identify with that. And I did not realize that until you just said that. I think my whole life has been discovery. Because when everybody in my high school was picking colleges and going that route, I just knew that wasn't my calling.
Yes.
Somehow, I ended up on Soul Train. Because I just knew my world was going to be different.
Yes.
And I ended up on center stage on Soul Train dancing, and then that led me to this whole musical background. You know, I got to meet my idol at the time was Prince, and it was while everyone's getting degrees, I'm like just on a different.
Just because I know a lot about that, and I had the privilege to talk to Don Cornelius several times. How did you end up getting on Soul Train? Because sometimes they would go to local nightclubs and recruit.
You are spot on.
So I know you see that I know.
Yeah. So one of my good friends was on Soul Train at the time. And I was a really good dancer. I'll tell you what I'm really bad at. I have no problem. But I will tell you I was a good dancer.
Yes.
I could break dance. I actually had my own pop locking and breakdown. And it was funny. It's all, and even then, all girls. I wanted an all-girl crew. So we would battle the guys.
Yeah.
And so that just led me to being at these clubs. And I was a lover of music from early on.
Yeah.
I had two fathers growing up. So I had the Motown thing. Then I had the hippie Led Zeppelin and Crosby, Stills. So that's why another reason I think I connect to you. So you nailed it. I was at a club and I got a tap on the shoulder.
Wow.
And it was a guy named Eric. You probably know Eric. Eric was Don Cornelius's right-hand man. And he said, what's your name? And at the time, people called me Monty. And I said, Monty. And he said, are you with Diana or whatever? And I said, yeah. And he said, you need to bring her to Soul Train.
Well, that's big because I know so much about Soul Train that it was predominantly African-American.
Yep.
And then one of the first non-African-American ladies that broke was that Asian girl.
Yep.
You see how I really know
this?
this?
Look at you, yeah. Look at me. Do I look familiar? You probably saw me on the stage.
No,
it was early 90s.
I
was on for 5 years.
I probably did.
5 years.
And that's a long time.
Yeah.
And a big platform.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that all of us as people that are people of color, we all saw you. So, I mean, Denzel Washington was watching Soul Train. LL Cool J was watching Soul Train. Everybody watched Soul Train.
That was the thing. People don't know. Like that, even I grew up watching Soul Train. So to be on a show, again, that I grew up watching, everything stopped when Soul Train come on in my house.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing.
So watch what I do here, watch. And then, so the beginning is Soul Train, brought to you by, watch, don't say it, Ultra Sheen, Afro Sheen, and Ultra Sheen Cosmetics.
Oh, 100%.
I just hit it right there.
You just hit it. Yeah, you just hit it. And there's nothing like going down the Soul Train line, by the way.
Yeah.
Knowing when that red light comes on, I would hide.
Oh, and you got to be good because the Soul Train line is still big on TikTok today.
Right.
So you can go to the Soul Train line, and a lot of the greatest dancers that ended up dancing later for all of our stars,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
Came out of Soul Train. But that Soul Train line is longer than people think. Because when you shoot through the middle,
Yep.
you better really,
You better be ready.
and you better have enough wind to keep on dancing
Oh,
all
yeah.
the way through the line.
You're so true. You're so right. And so if I would know Eric was about to call me, he would be like, Monty. And if the song that they were going to play wasn't good,
Yeah.
I would hide. Because I'm not going to go down the line in front of all of America if
Yes.
I don't like the song. Because I was one of those dancers where I have to feel it. It has to be a good song. And then there's a whole nother story of like, how did I get on center stage? Because I didn't dress as
Provocative.
sexy, as
Yeah.
provocative, but I was a better dancer. And
Yes.
so I said, Eric, if I'm going to be here, I want to be there. How do I
Yeah.
get up there?
Ooh,
And
I like that.
that was my mentality.
And the center stage was not easy to get on,
No.
and that's where the cameras kept going to the best dancers. So you were on
The floor,
around what years?
91, 95.
Okay.
91
so,
to 95.
So we're playing songs back then like Looking for That Good Stuff. Dun, 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 dun,
Yep.
dun, dun. Tighten up on that backstroke. Okay, and then
Yeah, early 90s, yeah.
yeah, and then Freak Out is coming out, Chic, all that.
I remember Young MC being on, Public Enemy being on, Morris Day and the
Yes.
Time. Anything early 90s. You remember, what was it? Jody Watley.
Yes.
To me, it was like when music was
Jody
really
Watley was
poppin'.
amazing. So she sang a song, I'm Looking for That Real Love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was there for all that. Moni Love. I mean, I have pictures of Flavor Flav, all these things. But my mentality, you'll appreciate.
Yes.
The first day, I'm dancing on the floor, and I'm like, I don't like this.
Yes.
If I'm gonna be here, I want to be there.
So let's go there. Even though we're going to
Yeah,
talk
no.
about me here in a minute, I want to go back to you.
Yeah.
Is that what was the competition like amongst women? Because you were dealing with a lot of women from a certain culture.
Yep.
And you were coming in
Mexican,
as a
light.
Latin lady.
Yep.
What was that conflict like?
Everybody wanted to be on that center stage.
Yeah.
I didn't even pay much attention. I was kind of to myself, to be honest.
Yes.
I was literally there because I loved to dance. My motive was to dance, and I thought maybe I could network, and I heard people had made it from Soul Train, like Jody Watley.
Yes.
And I thought I could maybe be the next Jody
No,
Watley.
there was several that made it from there. And then later in life, when you get into In Living Color, where you obviously famously have Jennifer Lopez coming out of there and Rosie Perez.
Right, Rosie, yeah.
So the thing about you being discovered on Soul Train is the real deal.
Yeah.
Because again, everybody was watching.
Everybody was watching.
Spike Lee was watching.
Yeah.
Any producer, director was watching.
Well, you'll appreciate this. I said, I want to be up there. How do I get up there? I know I'm a better dancer. And he said, he looked at you, he looked at it and he goes, Monty, you got to show a little more skin. Because I was clothed from top to bottom. And I said, he goes, you got to wear heels or something. And I just, because I was a hip hop dancer. So I came looking hip hop.
Yeah.
He's like, I go, but I can't dance in heels. He goes, so the next time I came back and I did I was like, I wore short shorts,
Yep.
different shirt, but I wore flat boots, but the boots were high. I'm like, that was a good compromise. And I said, I'm here. And he looked at me and he goes, get up there. And I never lost my spot. So, and I guess that just goes to show, and somehow we got on Soul Train, but you really nailed it when you said discover.
Yeah, discover. But I think it's in line of where we're going today is that I think for everybody that's either watching or listening to this podcast, because some will listen, is that don't get down on yourself because sometimes you don't know what decision to make just because you're a senior in high school.
Right.
You don't know what decision to make just because you just got divorced.
Right.
And so some things you discover, and I call them divine doors. So I think many times people think, oh, that door just opened. No, I think that was kind of like your tia prayed for you and
Right.
God decided to answer your aunt's prayers and a divine door opened. And I see that as part of your life, that divine doors just kept opening in your life. And that's what happened with me, like to go from, living in the inner city to then my office being in Beverly Hills in my late 20s on Cannon Drive, then living in Beverly Hills for most of my life, having an elevator in my house. That's a long way from where I came from. Wasn't what I was looking for, but
Right.
it's where I ended up.
What was that one moment? So mine might have been Soul Train, because then that took me, I ended up working with Prince. I ended up having a record deal with Interscope Records. That moment, what was your moment where it literally changed the trajectory of your life?
Yeah, I think for some people they get the big break. For me, mine was a series of little breaks, but in order to take advantage of those little breaks, you gotta recognize that the little breaks are taking you from one step to the next.
Right.
So every little break I got, I realized, ooh, I'm onto something. So that was like, speaking on one stage and then speaking on a bigger stage. And then I remember the first time I was speaking at this one event and I looked out and I saw Denzel Washington out in the crowd. And then a couple weeks later, I looked out and I saw Stevie Wonder out in the crowd. This is interesting. These entertainers are taking the time to watch me.
Right.
And then I would many times go in the back and dialogue with them, and they're like, yo, for what you're doing, you're so down to earth, you make sense. And then that's what opened up the whole Beverly Hills scene.
Right.
Where next thing I know, I had a group of people coming to see me almost every month, like Quincy Jones, Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, Natalie Cole, that Berry Gordy. That just did not happen. It was unheard of. It did not happen, and it will never happen again.
That is amazing. Do you know of a guy named Elliot Mintz?
Yes, I do.
Do you guys know each? I'm just curious. There's a reason why I'm asking.
Okay, are you talking about the man that's a manager?
He was one of the biggest media consultants.
Yes, he's
Because
very, very good.
Yes. The reason why I mention him, I ran into him and we've been friends for many, many years as well.
Yeah.
I always talked about Elliot where he has a spirit about him. You have this humble spirit, but you've hung around icons.
Yeah, but that's interesting you know him. I met him through Paris Hilton.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm talking.
Yeah.
I call him E.
Yeah.
I call him E. And the reason why I was saying that, I'm like, it just hit me. I'm like, for people like yourself to roll off some of these names who are legends, they're not just entertainers. These are icons. These are life,
But these are my brothers.
Yeah.
I've been with these guys over 30 years.
So let's talk about Quincy, if you don't mind, because I'm a big music fan. I mean, Quincy Jones. I mean, you're talking Thriller. We can't even go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Being a Motown. The other thing I love about Tim, he plays amazing music at all his events, which you got to go to all his events. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I play music.
The music and the networking is one thing, but the Motown is what I'm there for. How did it feel when that transpired?
Yeah, I think that, so you have two lanes. So the Motown, as you know, is more Berry Gordy.
Right.
But Barry and Quincy were always friends. Quincy was doing something else with people from Frank Sinatra all the way to We Are the World, the famous, We Are the World, to the biggest album of all time for a long period of time called Thriller.
Right.
Quincy found out about me in my late 20s and gravitated to me and started talking to me about his life and also his children and how to deal with his children, because I was already a therapist and a life coach. I was a life coach before people were even talking about life coaching, because I was trained by the pioneer of life coaching, a black lady named Dr. Helen Mendez, who taught psychology at USC. So I was way ahead of the game because of how I was mentored. But Quentin and I became such good friends because he saw that I was an old soul. And I think one thing that always got me in the door and kept me in the door is I honor people. So I wanted to hear Quincy's old stories about him and Count Basie. I wanted to hear his old stories about him and Frank Sinatra, where I think a lot of people were looking for things from him. I was just vibing with my friend.
Right.
And then he's the one that introduced me to Oprah Winfrey about 17 years ago. He kept calling her, talking to her. Don't sleep on Tim Storey. That was his whole thing. Don't
really?
sleep on Tim Storey. I know you think that he's just a motivator. Don't sleep on Tim Storey. Tim Storey is like a young Nelson Mandela. And
Yeah.
then he's the one that opened that door.
Wow. Who was your first quote unquote celebrity?
I think that, I started seeing people, like I said, out there in
Your audience?
the audience. But what it was celebrities that would get in trouble.
Okay.
So I became very good as a troubleshooter for the NFL. So in my early 20s, I was doing inner city projects and helping with the inner city people. And then about my mid 20s, I started hanging out with Reggie White, who at that time was with the Eagles. And then through him, I met Randall Cunningham. I met Irving Fryer.
Right.
They were all on the same team.
Right.
Then some of them went on to other teams. So Reggie said to me, "Hey, Tim, we got money and you got a gift. We got your back."
I love that.
And so they gave me a lot of money, a lot of these guys, to help me with my nonprofit.
Okay.
So I was going into inner cities all around America, motivating young people to live a high standard of life. The NFL then found out about me. I started troubleshooting for the NFL. If they had problem athletes,
Right.
I was in the middle of so much.
Wow.
Like, I mean, I won't name drop on this because some of these guys don't want people to know that they had a lot of trouble. But as a person of color, I was the guy they related to.
Wow. That's amazing. What an honor. You
Yeah,
know?
definitely.
What
Yeah.
an honor. And the NFL still could use you. I'm just saying.
I'm still working with them.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
No,
okay.
no, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
I got the best athletes in the NFL still. And I work a lot even with the college athletes.
Okay.
I have so many college athletes that I work with. I'm also mentoring young people who go into the draft and what to do, what to say, how to act. Yeah,
What
very
is-
much involved.
It's just such an amazing, out of all the stories and probably all the advice and suggestions you probably give people, what is, if you can tell me, one that you're like, you say probably more than the other?
Yeah.
Like one that you're like, if everyone just could get this one thing,
Yeah.
what would that be?
I think one of the things that I would say there's like 50 Tim Storey quotes
Right.
that are like platinum records.
Right, yes.
Okay. So one would be sometimes you got to go left before you get right. Or there's a difference between a good idea and a God idea. Or God uses shaky people to do sturdy projects. So I got
Oh,
like,
I know. And you were rattling them off at your event.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about.
there's like 50 platinum ones.
Love it.
That all these other
Right.
thought leaders quote.
Right.
Okay. One of my favorites is you may not be what you want to be, but thank God you're not what you used to be. Yeah, because I think people trip too much on what they're not. But you got to remember how far we doggone came.
Say it for the people in the back.
Yeah, so sometimes for me, like as well as my life goes, I'm like, damn, I wish I could have spent more time with this person or that relative. That's a big one with me and my relatives because I was so close to my relatives when we were little, my cousins, okay? And some of my cousins have been incarcerated their entire life. But because of me getting this life where I've been riding this big wave, I didn't do it on purpose. I just got so busy
Yeah.
that I didn't really spend the time that I wish I would have spent with them. And now I'm
Right.
starting to reach back out.
Right.
But you may not be what you want to be, but thank God you're not
I
what
love
you used
that.
to be.
I love that. And one of the things when we first met, you immediately tapped into. It was like you read me in 2.2 seconds. You like read my soul, and
Yeah.
I remember getting teary eyed in like within 45 seconds
Yeah.
because I tapped in. You tapped into my why, and my why was my father.
Yes.
Right. And so your why, your setback,
Yeah.
your comeback. And I got that from you immediate too,
Yes.
was like, I like people that struggle too. And I think that's why I love sobriety so much. I love people
Yes.
that come back who were this, but now they're that.
Yeah. And congratulations on your sobriety. I'm very much a part of that world. I lost my brother to the challenge of addiction. He struggled with alcohol addiction. He had a college degree, worked at McDonnell Douglas as an engineer, and still died.
Wow. I know.
And so I work.
Sorry for that.
I work. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I work on a weekly basis in the addiction space. I've owned addiction centers. So I think that the reason that I want to continue to help the down and outer, middle and outer, up and outer is because I understand pain. And I do my best not to stay too far from the pain. I was helping one of my friend's sons get into rehab today. And people say, well, what do you get from it? I'm not trying to get something from it. It's not a paid position that I'm looking for. I just love people and I'm connected.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly helping. But I think that the secret sauce of Tim Storey is that God has entrusted me with helping his people that are in a setback. And he's made me very qualified and given me a lot of wisdom on how to get people out.
And that's very clear, by the way. And I tell him, you're like E.F. Hutton to me, because when Tim speaks, I listen, and I really listen. And, I went to your mastermind,
Yeah, you did.
and I don't want to get emotional, but it'll happen. It already is.
Yeah. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you see that I don't play. Look at the people that I brought. I brought Sarah Ivanhoe, who teaches at Stanford University on sleep,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Dr. Carol, who is
Gonna ruin my makeup, Tim.
a doctor who is one of the top veterinarians in the world.
Yep.
And talking about working on animals and what she's learned by working on the top horses in the world. They fly her to Dubai.
Yeah.
They fly her all over the world just to work on these horses. How about Naz Baroudi in talking about, are you prepared for the end of your life emotionally, financially, because she's an attorney.
Yeah.
And then the breath work we did that day
That breath work
was just amazing, right?
Wow. I've never seen transformation that quick,
Yeah.
that powerful, and that organic
Yeah.
in one sitting.
Yeah, and he's so gifted, that young gentleman.
Yeah.
And then I taught on setback to comeback. And people say, why did you have it in a $13 million home? Because I want to show people that their lives are caving in on them, or even if their lives have gone high, I'm constantly wanting you to visualize the utmost life that God
Yeah.
called you to. See, because I believe that a utmost God did not call us to be almost children. And the way I was raised was we almost had Levi's, but we couldn't afford them. We almost had Converse tennis shoes, but we couldn't afford them. So I refused to be stuck in an almost life in any area of my life.
That's me going, how do I get up there?
Yeah.
If I'm going to be here,
Hey,
I'm
I
not
like
going to
that.
be on
That's
the
good.
floor.
Yeah.
How do I get up there? And he told me, and I came back ready so that he couldn't deny me.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
how I live my life. Mm-hmm. You know? So I think that's why, again, like I just love to hear your words and where you come, all the platinum records.
Yes.
Those are gems.
But can I tell you something behind the scenes of that is even today, I study 2 hours a day on different subjects, 7 days a week. So, I have a doctorate degree in world religion. And then I took all these classes on therapy as I was heading towards this degree. But 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, early in the morning, I study on various subjects. It could be trauma, but one day I'm studying on crypto and Bitcoin because I don't understand that much.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that if I don't understand it, I am going to figure it out.
Right.
So, like, I know a lot now about AI. I'm invested in 3 big AI companies. And the reason I was able to do that with knowledge and wisdom is because I spent 2 years studying the subject of AI.
I love that.
So if I don't know, I want to find out.
Right. And that just shows who you are too, to be humble enough to still take in knowledge,
Yes.
to still be teachable in different areas.
Yeah.
You know, what is someone like you? People think, he's got it made.
Yeah.
But I know there has to be a moment where you're like, this is a rough patch.
Yes. I think that I got to take people there, even if it pushes wrong buttons in them. Okay, but coming from 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment, and then going to houses that had 5 bathrooms, 6 bathrooms, and 7 bathrooms.
Right.
And my neighbor being Christina Aguilera and Prince, it's quite a change. But I remember the UPS guy one time. He was a Hispanic guy from East LA, and he'd say, "Mr. Storey, man, you're so down to earth. Like, when I roll up here, you're asking me about me, about my family."
Yeah.
And one time I pulled down the hatch of my car, and we just sat back there and talked because he said he had time for a break.
Okay.
And I was just life coaching him. For all the things that continue to happen to me on the monetary side, the financial side, all the doors that open, I'd never lose sight of the pain, PAIN. And if you ever lose sight of the pain, you're in trouble. When I see the ego get too far on a lot of the stars that I life coach,
Right.
they forgot about their damn pain. I don't forget about the pain.
Right.
I stay close to the pain.
Right. Yeah.
Make sense?
100%.
So whether it's a family member struggling, a friend struggling. So in fact, just real quickly, I was going up to San Francisco one day with a friend of mine, and I got 3 different calls within this 8-hour period from prisons. And the friend finally said, "What the heck's going on?" Because it kept saying, "You're receiving a call from."
Yeah, that's so funny. You're like, who are you hanging out with?
I'm like, that's how I roll.
Oh my God, I love it.
I'm down with the incarcerated.
I love it. Well, I'm down with that too. So being sober, we go into prisons and institution and spread the word of sobriety. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called H&I. We take our 4 or 5 of us will go into prisons and we'll share about our story, and we try to share the message of sobriety and being clean and living a clean life, But you mentioned Prince.
Yeah.
And so growing up, everybody knows 2 things about me. I'm a diehard Prince fan and I'm a diehard Niner fan. We're going to get to some football, I promise.
Yeah.
I have some Prince stories, but I need to know. Give me at least one Prince story.
I only have one.
Okay, that's all I need.
Because he had a place that he was never in because he was in Minnesota.
Right.
And the only Prince encounter was I was at the Grammy Awards with somebody really, really famous.
Okay.
I'm sitting there, and so Prince starts walking across the floor during a break.
Okay.
I think he's coming to my famous friend, who's very famous.
Okay.
He doesn't. He comes to me, and he kneels down, and he whispers, "Thank you for helping my friend. You changed their life." And then he got up and walked back in his high heels. That's the only conversation I ever had with him my whole life.
Well, I want to know the friend so bad.
Well, the friend is famous, but that's the only conversation I ever had with the mysterious Prince. Yeah.
Well, that's enough.
That was enough.
Okay, but you did mention the high heels.
He had high heels.
And I need to share one story with you.
Yeah.
When I was with him, I got to spend time with him, that's a whole nother story from Soul Train to, I was going to write I'm a songwriter. It ended up being a songwriter, whatever. So I got to spend time with him, and this is when he was filming Graffiti Bridge.
Okay, yes.
And we were sitting there watching dailies. Well, for some of you that
Of
don't
course.
know, that means we're watching what they filmed all day long. And he looked at me, and I had these boots on. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Give me that." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "That." I'm like, "My boot?" And he goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, Prince asked me for my boot. I'm going to give him my boot."
Yeah.
So I gave him my boot, and he took off his boot, his heels.
Wow.
He switched shoes with me.
Okay, now that's amazing.
It's the weirdest thing, but it's amazing.
Yes.
Right? And he's funny because he's a funny guy.
Yes.
He got
I've
up
heard
in
that.
my boots. They were black patent leather with these silver tips.
Yeah.
And he moved them and he goes, "Because you got to have faith." He was making fun of George Michael's
Yes.
faith video
Yes.
with my boot on. And that's I have a lot more Prince stories, but that is one of them.
That's a very funny story.
Yeah. And we wear the same shoe size.
Yeah.
And we are actually the same exact height.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, and let me ask you this. We're going to have a Prince moment. He asked me this. I'm going to ask you what he asked me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on my way to meet him, but I'm in his limo.
Yeah.
And the phone rings, and I'm like, "Oh, my God, I'm not ready to talk to Prince." I was kind of freaking out just for a minute. I don't usually freak out, but I kind of freaked out because I wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
But the phone rang. The person answered it. She goes, "Yep, she's right here." I'm like, "Oh, I'm ready for this."
Yeah.
Get the phone. And the first thing he says, "I'm going to ask you, if you were an animal, what animal would you be?"
Yes. Well, I'm definitely would be a lion, and I would rule the damn whole area.
I love it. Right? So he asked me that. We're close.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea, and you're no Prince. He's not going to want you to wait a long time. Like, you got to just come up with whatever comes out. And my answer was, I said, "I don't know. I think a Black Panther."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, you must have a really big ass." And he started laughing. And that broke the ice for the rest of the trip. But you said lion, I said Black Panther, and here we are.
No, but Black Panther's a good one too.
Right? It's pretty good, but I like yours better.
Black Panthers are fast, they're quick, they're elusive, they can hide in the dark.
Yeah.
And then they show up when they want to show up.
I like that. See, we could be talking, I could have you here forever. But at some point, I got to talk to you about the NFL.
Yeah, okay.
Because obviously we're football sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wasn't sure because I didn't want to ask Tim until we were here. Everybody knows who I run with, but I love the game.
Me too.
I never was a hater of the team that you love.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you say, if you had to pick a team, who's your team?
Yeah, so I love the Oakland Raiders, and part of the reason I love the Raiders is the commitment to excellence. Is when Al Davis was talking about that, even way back in the 70s, and they had Kenny Stabler, lefty quarterback, and they just had this great team around them. Then something strange happens to me when probably like in the late 80s, I start getting asked to go speak at the Raiders Chapel.
That is amazing.
And then I become the chaplain of the Oakland Raiders for 5 years.
Who knew they had chaplains?
Yeah, they had chaplains. And so then I become best of friends with Marcus Allen, which I still am. That's my real guy.
Love.
Tim Brown,
Love.
my real guy.
Okay.
Eric Dickerson, one of my best friends, because he had been at the Rams and the Colts.
Yeah.
Then he came to the Raiders for 1 year. And Eric and I even did a radio show together for a while. And so, no, I rock with the Raider Nation. They need some help right now. The owner's my real good friend, Mark Davis.
Okay.
We've done a lot of great talking. I almost helped with the moving of the Raiders from one city to the next. That's how close I am to him.
Wow, because now they're in Vegas.
Yeah.
What did you feel about Tom Brady coming over?
Well, I think that it's a no-brainer to try to use him as a consultant.
Right.
I don't really think that Tom Brady has that much time to put into any organization.
Right.
But I think Tom Brady obviously knows the game, knows it at a high standard.
Yeah.
And so it's good to at least use him as a consultant.
Right.
Just as it would be to use somebody like a Peyton Manning.
Right. And I'll tell you what, I was actually on record when Tom Brady came. I was like, oh boy, if he had more time, if he was really, the Raiders could end up it's not going to be this year, but I'm like, if he really, maybe got involved, maybe the Raiders end up in the Super Bowl within 3 years of him coming aboard.
I agree with you because he could teach the principles
of what he does.
What is now happening to the New England Patriots, who for a while they were in the cellar after winning all those years under Belichick, and now look at him having a good season right now as we talk.
Yeah.
Because who knows what their record will be when this podcast finally airs. But another guy that I'm very close to, even to this day, is Deion Sanders. So Deion and I have known each other, I like to get the dates right, I would say, 30 years now.
Wow.
We've been friends for a real 30 years. And we even speak at conferences together. We talk life together. I did a TV special. He was on my TV special.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about his boys.
I was going to ask you, how do you feel about Shador?
I think Shador in high school was out of this world. In college was out of this world. I think the pro game is so different that it's going to take him a while to acclimate to being a pro player because he doesn't have the speed of a Michael Vick. So he can't just keep leaving the pocket.
Right.
And then he doesn't have the presence or the height of a Tom Brady to stay in the pocket.
Right.
So I think he's figuring out his style.
Right.
But he definitely has the moxie and the energy to
the genes
to play
if
well.
Nothing else.
He's got the genes.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of Shador, and I hope that he does really well.
And everything you just talked about, they say you lose 2 seconds from college to NFL, and that might not sound like a long time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 2 seconds. That's a long time. Think about it. Most people, you want a quarterback to get rid of that ball within 2.6 seconds, under 3.
Yeah.
So think about that. If you lose 2 seconds because the power of the human athlete from college to NFL is a whole nother level.
It's mind blowing. Like I'm friends with Ray Lewis.
Okay.
So for a long time, and I met Ray through his mother.
Okay.
His mother was a Tim Storey fan going back 30 years ago, and that's how I met the son, Ray. But you take Ray Lewis at linebacker, he was coming at these players at such velocity that these college players had no idea what was
coming.
Them.
They had no idea. That's why when they get them, they go, "Welcome to the NFL."
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. I would love to hear some of those stories of all of the people you just mentioned, by the way. I was a huge Marcus Allen fan. Who wasn't? I don't care what team you were.
Marcus is class. I think we know each other very well. We've had great talks. We were going to do business together on a very big project. Marcus is a good businessman. I think he's a class act. Him and Eric Dickerson are real buddies. They hang out together a lot. But I think Marcus is one of the classiest guys I know as an NFL legend.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about, what you do on a daily basis. How do you find time for football? And does that give you a release where you can just are you able to watch?
Yes.
Are you able to like stay dialed in?
Yeah, so I'm watching tonight.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I'm watching tonight. My friend's fiance is singing the national anthem.
Okay.
I love the teams that are playing tonight. I know a lot of people on both sides. So because of me traveling so much,
Right.
there's a lot of teams that I really like, but I'm a Raiders fan, but there's a lot of teams that I like. But to me, the NFL it's really art. When you look at some of these catches that these receivers are catching now,
Yeah.
I mean,
Unbelievable. With 2 fingers,
you just
practically.
you just did that,
right?
Okay, so when we saw the one of Odell Beckham a few years ago, and then that was just like this crazy catch. Now you're seeing that more and more. Of course, Randy Moss was almost like
Yep.
the premier
Yep.
100 catcher.
Yep.
You didn't see that so much from like a Jerry Rice, but with the athleticism of these young guys, it's like it's poetry.
It's crazy. And now they're literally practicing to catch
Yes.
these one-handed because of Odell.
They
like
are
now
doing
they're
it. They are practicing.
They're practicing now to catch one hand. It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. I didn't hear you mention the Niners. How we feel about my Niners?
I
What do you
love-
think
I
my
love that-
chances are? I mean, we're gonna have the Super Bowl in Levi Stadium. What do you think my Niners are gonna be there?
So I go back with the Niners too.
Do you talk to me?
Yeah, so the Niners guys like me.
Okay.
So he's now big in the NFL. Merton Hanks.
Okay.
He's a guy, he was a defensive back, and when he would catch the ball and go for a touchdown, he would do his neck like that. Way back, he had the long neck.
Okay.
Okay. And then Roger Craig.
I loved Roger.
I
Craig.
rocked with Roger Craig.
Okay.
I probably was pretty good friends with like 7 of the Niners.
Okay.
Yeah.
My dad would appreciate that.
Yeah.
He was obviously we're big Niner fans.
But it was more the Niners of that era
Yeah.
when Jerry was there.
Yeah.
And then remember Dion.
Dion
went-
played.
So I'm going to tell you a great story about this.
I can't wait.
So I have cleats, football cleats. I'm about to blow you away.
Oh my God! Hold on. Let me.
I'm about to blow you
Okay.
away.
Tell me.
So the Niners win the Super Bowl, and Deion Sanders has his cleats. Okay, he takes them off, and it's Deion that signed them. I'm going deeper.
Oh my God.
Jerry Rice and Michael Jordan was there in the back after they won. I have those cleats.
What?
Yeah, I have those cleats.
Okay. You know.
Jordan, Rice, and Dion.
Wow.
I own them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And
you know
I
what?
I didn't buy them. I got them as a gift from one of them.
That is amazing.
I won't say who, but from one of them.
Well, one of
they
those
gave me-
three.
They gave me in both shoes. I have.
That is pretty sexy, actually.
That's football sexy.
That's football sexy right there. Oh my goodness. How do I? We got to get a picture of these.
What the dirt on them?
With the dirt on them?
Yeah, there's still some dirt on them.
Are they hanging somewhere? Tell me they're hanging somewhere, or
They're in a very exclusive storage area.
Okay.
And I have sports memorabilia that's at the crazy level.
I feel like we have to do another podcast
Just talking about that.
In this sports
And just
cave.
just
Do you have a cave?
in my sports cave. So in one of my houses that you would have loved, I had a sports cave that was just rocking with sports
Oh, my
memorabilia.
God.
Because a lot of the athletes that I help, they would try to pay me a lot of money. And I would say to them, no, man, for what you're doing for people, just pay it forward and help kids. Okay, I'm going to get you something. What do you want? So I would say, I want your jersey, but can you also give me this guy's jersey?
There you
It's like,
go.
oh my God, he's one of my best friends.
Get it.
And then the jersey showed up.
I love it. I'm trying to think whose jersey. Who is there one that you want right now that you don't have?
I have to think really hard about this. So I would say this may shock you,
Okay.
but I think Barry Sanders was such a great running back, and he was so shy about it
True.
and so humble.
Yep.
I think I would want it because what he represented to the NFL.
Okay.
And that was a lot of humility.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was not showboating.
Right.
He'd score a touchdown and then hand the ball to the referee.
Right. Yeah. It's so funny. I was just on another podcast and I talked about somebody's asking me if I like a certain player, and I go, I'm gonna be honest with you. Now we know how Dion was.
Yeah.
Love Dion. But I'm more of the Dion never bothered me that way. But there are some out there where I'm like, bro,
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we
Act like you've been there.
yes, I don't like that. I come from the era of the Joe Montanas, and you leave it on the field.
Yes.
Right? Now, I love to talk. I was an athlete too. So I
Yes.
love to talk and have fun. Trust me. But there's a difference of talking and jabbing, and then there's a difference of going overboard, I feel.
Yes. I totally agree. So I met Montana last year because I speak at these tours called the Aspire Tours, and he spoke for us in the Bay Area,
Okay.
and he did a great job. It was he did a Q&A in front of about 2,000 people, but he was very pleasant to me and the other people that wanted to meet him.
Right.
But he was known as that kind of guy, and then did a great job even at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I think Deion Sanders, if I could say this, is that he will admit to you that that was a bit of a shtick. Like prime time was just something he had fun with, right?
Right. Hey, I remember the song, Ain't That the Money.
Yeah.
By the way, I wear this 16 for my dad's favorite number was 16 because of Joe Montana.
Wow.
So every birthday card, every Christmas card that my dad ever gave me, he would always write a little something and always put love dad before hashtags were cool.
Yeah.
And he would write hashtag 16.
I love
So-
that you have that 16 on.
I always have it. I always have it. So it runs deep.
It runs real deep.
It runs deep. Well, I could keep you here forever, but I know we're going to go watch the game.
Yes.
But two things. One, can we go to a game together? Do you,
I would-
ever get to go to games or not really?
Well,
Or
of
do you
cour-
like over him?
The answer is, of course.
Okay.
No. So I am at games.
Okay.
I almost went tonight. I could have gone tonight.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And
They're
because of my job, I get invited a lot.
here. Okay.
Okay. And in fact, this is a funny Tim Storey story, is that a lot of my speaking engagements, I choose by looking at what games are going to be in
Yeah.
that town.
You are my guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I sometimes go to as many as 9 games a season, but in 9 different cities.
I need to be in your backpack.
No, but that's for real.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I wasn't
because
sure.
I love to be around. I love to be in all the different stadiums.
Yeah.
To go see the Eagles play where they are.
Right.
To go see the Titans in Nashville, the Tennessee Titans. To go to Cowboy Stadium.
Yep.
To go to all these different stadiums and feel the energy.
Yep.
Even what will shock you, and I've always been to see the 49ers in this
Levi?
the new Levi
Right.
Stadium. But Seattle, I couldn't believe that stadium.
The noise.
It rocks. It's noisy there.
I heard. I've never been. Not yet.
Yeah.
But I heard it is literally one of the loudest stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
I do love going to Vegas. I go there quite often. I love to see the Raiders play there.
Yes.
I just love that stadium. I don't know.
Yes. I think it's one of the greatest stadiums
It really
there
is gorgeous.
Yes.
And I'll just stay at Mandalay Bay because I just don't like drama, and I walk right over the bridge and I'm there.
That's a perfect way to do it.
Right?
Yes.
Well, I want to go to a game with you. I'm
Yes.
just throwing it out there.
That would be awesome.
If we could figure it out, I'll even buy your ticket. Let's just go.
No,
well, you
that
probably
won't
don't
happen
buy-
because you know my manager, and you know my manager's hooked up.
Oh, I forgot. We got to get David in here.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So yeah. So it will be the opposite.
Okay. Well, thank you. I don't want to let you go, but I will. I will. Before we go, though,
Yeah.
I want to just talk 2 things. One, lead with love. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about the next.
Yes.
How do we
event.
find? Yeah, and anything else that people can find you and just hear your
Yeah,
amazing
to make it
words.
simple on people. So if they go to timstory.com, So TIMSTOREY
Yep.
.com. They'll see a movement that you're a part of called Lead with Love.
Yep.
And the idea is that we have many areas of our life. We have our spiritual life, our mental, our mindset, the clarity of mind, strength of mind. Then we have our job, our finances, our family. And life can be very challenging. So I have these events where I teach people on what I call the 8 buckets of life. But I also have courses that they can take. And then I also have one of the top podcasts in America right now. I'm constantly in the top 10. Right now I'm ranking number 4 in my category, which is on leadership and education. And a lot of books that we have, TV shows, etc. So timstory.com. But enough about Tim Storey.
Yeah.
I want to say this. I'm so proud of you, proud of what you represent, how you're helping people, changing people, onboarding people about football, understanding the NFL,
Yeah.
but also understanding life.
Right.
And congratulations on your journey, and thank you for continuing to help people that are in pain.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I do want to start giving back. And maybe that's something you could help me with
Yes.
when we talk. My calling seems to be helping single women who don't have the resources to take their children to games.
Yes.
That is what has been in my heart for a while now. And that is like my next, I got to figure out how to do this. Because it's such a beautiful moment with children.
Of course.
And especially single parents, but especially women who, it's expensive to go to a game. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. It's not cheap.
I think that's a very, very good cause.
Yeah.
And I think that, I don't think you would see it where the head of the NFL, Goodell, would say, oh, let's do that in all cities, because I don't think all cities are that generous. But I do think that certain cities where they have very generous owners, because there's some great owners in the NFL that are really into humanitarian work.
Yeah.
I think that that's a real
Thing.
thing that
I'd
can
love-
help a lot of people.
That's on my list
Yes.
to accomplish.
So football
way.
is sexy.
Yeah.
And how can they get your merch? Because do you know that I'm wearing your sweatshirt
I
right
know.
now?
You
How
look
do they
so
get
good
this?
in it.
How do they get
Footballsexy.com.
it? Okay.
Footballsexy.com. So I feel like I'm so excited that I actually met you.
Thank you. And I feel the same about you. But this is one of the most, and I wear hoodies. This is one of the most comfortable sweatshirts there is. And it just feels good.
Thank you.
So make sure and get that.
Yes.
And any other merch
I
that she
wanted
has.
it to be premier because I love sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Like I selfishly made this to make sure it was so soft, so it was top of the line premium. So I'm glad you enjoy it. Before I let you go,
Yes.
thank you for being my friend. You said I can call you my friend,
I am
so I'm
your
going to
friend.
use that.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your light. I feel very, very privileged to be in your world. We do one more thing, and we do, even though it's not basketball, we do
Yeah.
Who Got Next.
Yeah.
And what I like people to do is tag someone that you think should be right here next time talking to me. Anyone that you think that maybe would talk a little bit of football and life with me.
Have you met Nick Lowry?
No.
So Nick Lowry just launched a book, and they call him the greatest field goal kicker in the history of the NFL.
I think yes.
He played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
So I can get Nick Lowry for you. So Nick Lowry has played with everybody.
Let's go.
He's in the Kansas City Chief Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He just launched his book.
Yes.
And I'm telling you now, Nick Lowry will be sitting in the seat.
Nick, let's go. And you know who I had before? Dante Hall.
Okay, that's huge.
One of my best
Yes.
episodes was with Dante Hall. His energy,
Yeah.
top of the line.
So let's get Nick, because Nick has so many great stories.
Okay.
He's very educated, and he played with Joe Montana forever.
Oh my God,
at
that's
Kansas
right.
City.
Let's go. Hey. Oh my God. I don't want to let him go, but I am. As always, keep it
Sexy.
sexy. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. And I want to, there's so many more things I would love to ask. I got to know about Oprah. Like, how was Oprah?
Oprah is like you. She's cool.
Can I just tell you one little Oprah story?
Yeah.
So I want to build this app, the first football everything app, things,
Yeah.
groundbreaking app geared towards women.
Great idea.
And thank you, I'm working on it. And on my vision board, it says to be one of Oprah's favorite things. Because I know from what I heard it from the great, she's not a real football fan. So I was like, but if I create this cool app teaching the game through gamification.
Yes. You could even onboard and recruit Oprah to be a football fan.
See, that was my goal. So she's literally on my vision board to be like the football sexy. If she's playing my app and learning football through gamification,
I like that. And I've been in her house many times, and the house is quite big. She has a very big screen to watch games if she starts to love football.
Let's go. That's my goal. Oprah, I'm coming for you, babe. I'm coming for you. Let's go. Football is sexy. I really am going to let him go. Thank you so much.